Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're here today, joined by a wonderful writer and director of a brand new film about to hit called You're Dating a Narcissist, Anne Marie Allison. Say hello, Anne Marie.
Hello.
Now, let's start here. You are a writer first, and we're a writer first. This is your feature debut, is that right?
It is, yes.
Well, that's a hell of a start there with Marissa Tomei, Sherry Cola, and Sierra Bravo in your film. I'd say that's a hell of a start.
You're not wrong.
Listen, I am a romantic comedy junkie. I
Mhm.
love them all. I adore them all. This movie points out a lot of the problems with them, and I love it for that. All of our favorite protagonists in romantic comedies could be surmised as, well, what Marissa Tomei would call a narc. Was that
Yes.
the thought process going in, or what was the process of writing this and making and building that character specifically? Because she's very interesting.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for watching. And I'm so glad that it resonated with you. I too am a huge rom-com, uh, you know, I just love her. I love all rom-coms. I grew up on them. And um, in terms of this particular movie, and the writing of it, it was unfortunately based on a personal experience where I dated a narcissistic man in my 20s. And um, I actually did not even know what narcissism was or what that whole thing was, like with the whole dynamic of narcissism and the personality disorders and all of that. All I knew was I had a very bad boyfriend and it was very emotionally damaging to me. And it wasn't until 10 years later that I was, at home with my family, my now husband, a different guy, thank God, a really lovely man. And a friend of mine called me in tears saying that she and her husband were breaking up. And she was just telling me everything that had happened and all the drama. And she said, we went to one um, counseling session, one marital counseling session. And as I was walking out of the counseling session, the counselor chased me down to my car and said, look, I couldn't say this in the session, but your husband's a raging narcissist. You need to just run, honey. And when she told me this, I had been her maid of honor. I knew this gentleman. I knew that he didn't seem like a narcissist in the way we understood narcissist to be somebody that looks in a mirror or very into their body or money or any of those kinds of things. This was a very funny, self-deprecating person. But the more she talked to me about it, the more all these alarm bells went off in my head where I was like, oh my God, that's exactly the type of person that I had dated in my 20s, that I was still grappling with some of this emotional abuse. So that is what sort of born the idea. I had been writing for some time before I decided to write this film. And, it sort of just blossomed into the perspective of that counselor running after my friend. Cause I was like, well, what would happen, if a counselor who's just so focused on narcissism and understands it to the level of, being a PhD, what if she had also been narked and or her most precious thing in the world, her daughter, was going down the path of what she thinks is with a narcissist?
I love that. That's a great answer.
Oh, that was a long answer, but
No, that's
yes.
exactly what you want out of the first question is you want a nice big fat answer, and I love it. I love how intercontinental your cast is too, Sherry being Chinese. You have Marco, who's Brazilian, and then I love Jose, who's a Mexican actor. He's fantastic in the movie. I love how intercontinental you made the cast. What was it like putting this cast together? And of course, we know why Sherry Cola is the best ever. I just have a thing. I don't know why, but when I see movies, I see these comedic actresses, and I'm like, they're going to be huge. I said it with Michelle Batal a few years ago, and she's been huge. And I said it with Sherry Cola when I saw her a few years ago too, and she's just blowing up, and I love it. But why were these the perfect people for this cast?
Well, I totally agree with you that everybody in this cast is an absolute gem, that they came to me in a place where I was, it was my first time directing. They didn't know how I would do, but they just trusted that I had a vision and that I was passionate about, the message I was trying to convey to people. And I mean, we could go down the line and talk about all of the different, ways we got the cast, but I will tell you, um, my producing partner, Jorge Garcia Castro, who was connected to Marissa Tomei's people. And of course, when I was writing Judy, um, I mean, this was just like a dream come true that someone of her comedic talent would be interested in playing this role. And so once she became interested, it was like, there were a lot of people interested in working with her. Um, but then everybody came and brought, their A game and just kind of blew me away, and I was just so delighted to see how every single actor in the film elevated the writing and the storytelling.
I love that because I really feel like they all did bring their A game here, and it's very evident when you watch the movie that they're just having a great time working with you, and I think that's a hallmark of a director. And for somebody who's a first time feature director, that's got to feel really good.
It does. I mean, I'm really excited to see how how audiences respond to it. Obviously, I'm very biased, and you know, I'm very proud of the movie, but I can't wait to see how it lands with the audience. And specifically, I wanted to tell the story and co-written with my friend Jenna Milley. And I went to her and I was like, look, I want to write something about this because I went through it and there's nothing out there to kind of like make me feel seen or like it's okay or that I'm not crazy. And she was kind enough to sort of sit there and listen to all the rantings of what I had gone through and what I wanted to do. And so I'd always felt like the reason why I wanted to make this movie was because of my 4-year-old self really spinning out and not understanding what had happened to me and reaching out and being like, this is for anybody that's been there and has, kind of danced the dance with a narcissistic partner.
Yeah, I can't say I've had the luxury pleasure of doing that, thankfully. But I really feel like from a male perspective, a lot of us are kind of narcissistic. So, and I think that has a lot to do with why there's that male loneliness epidemic is because we can't get over ourselves. Now, as I get older, I tend to branch
Yeah.
out, and we tend to branch out of that. But yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I probably had tendencies as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because I usually talk about how we all have narcissistic tendencies. We do. And when we're especially when we're threatened or we're anxious, not feeling ourselves, we can be narcissistic, meaning, selfish, black and white thinking. We can even gaslight people, like this definitely happened. And you're like, no, that did not happen, um and it's just one of those things in the personality spectrum. It's when you get into the very high levels of narcissism where there's truly no empathy and compassion for other people that you really see this being just sort of a terrible epidemic. And my hope is like as we age and we get older and we recognize the things like, hey, that didn't feel very good when I did that to somebody. If you have that ability, then you're not a narcissist.
I love that. And I only have two more questions. They're very simple. Well, the second one's not simple. It actually sucks, but I want to hear your answer. The first one's easy though. Who are some people that inspire you?
Oh my gosh. In terms of filmmakers, I mean, I have to talk about Nancy Meyers for a minute, especially with the passing of Diane Keaton, who is just, someone that I had always dreamed about working with and was hoping that maybe one day I would. But I feel like Nancy Meyers has done such a great job of giving us the romantic comedies, the sophisticated romantic comedies that women, and men and everyone can crave, and to look at, these fun, beautiful, but flawed characters trying to find love, but in a sophisticated way. And I mean, I also love, I do have to say, I do love a Woody Allen film. And we can debate Woody Allen, but I mean, the sparring, the conversation, and when I was thinking about the way I wanted the movie to be filmed, I talked a lot with my DP, Martine Vienne, about Midnight in Paris, which was an inspiration. So yeah, those two came to mind.
What a great movie. No, you're right. Woody Allen films are like fist fights with sarcasm, and it's beautiful and it's quippy. And Nancy always did a great job of that too. So I love that you picked Nancy Myers. I'm a big fan. I was just talking about The Holiday last Christmas,
I
That's
mean,
beautiful that movie is.
you can't, and it's like something's got to give, which is so funny to me because it's like Jack Nicholson's character, in a sense, is a narcissistic man that she ends up figuring out a way to, change. Which, I might have to have a talk with her about that and about that particular thing. But it's Jack Nicholson, right? So we will forgive him. But that movie I is like my comfort food. If I ever need to feel good, or I want to kind of rewrite my own life, I just sit in bed and watch that movie.
It's funny. We were just talking about Father of the Bride on my podcast last month because we're talking about movie dads, and I love her version of Father of the Bride. I find it to be the best version.
Yeah. Yes.
So good. Second
She's
question, much harder. You're gonna hate this question. Two
uh-oh.
movies you can watch for the rest of your life, and only two. What two and why?
Oh my goodness. Well, I just talked about something's got to give. So I, put that forth. And then I would say one of my favorite movies that is about love and intimacy and vulnerability is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I literally would watch that anytime, any day, and I have actually. But Charlie Kaufman obviously is just a genius, and studying his work and reading his scripts, it was part of my education just as a writer. So that would be another one.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie ever made. So yeah, that's the best answer. You
Well,
gave
awesome.
the
All
answer.
right.
You gave the number one best answer ever.
Oh my gosh, thank
Somebody
you.
bought me the script for my birthday actually this year.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so it was kind of amazing. I love Eternal Sunshine. I think that ending tells you a lot about if you believe in love or not. If you think it's a positive ending, you probably have a belief in love. If you think it's a negative ending, you're probably a butthole.
Wow. Great way to put it. I agree.
Right? Now,
Yeah.
we have a few minutes left, so I wanted to get a 30-second elevator pitch. Why should people check out your Dating a Narcissist?
I feel like they should check it out because I feel like it's a rom-com at its heart. We're all gonna sort of laugh together. We might cry together. And, the people who have been through narcissistic relationships, hopefully we would all heal together. You also would just get some fabulous performances from Marissa Tomei, Sherry Cola, Sierra Bravo, a real kind of girl power, film. And then our guys are amazing as well. So I know I'm seeing the countdown, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping people walk out of the film feeling seen. And, if you've had your heart broken, maybe you walk out feeling like you're open to love again.
I love that. This movie debuts this Saturday at the Austin Film Festival. Am I right about that?
Yes, 1 p.m. at the State Theater.
Yes, see it at the State Theater this Saturday, October 25th at 1 o'clock. Make sure you're there. I will be taking tabs because I have friends in Austin. And if you don't go see it, I will know and I will come after you. Thank you so much, Anne Marie, for being here with me today and talking with me about this movie. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope everybody else at Austin Film Festival enjoys it as much as I did.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Have
for
a
your time.
great rest of your day.
You too. Take care.